Think of a secret that shocked everyone who witnessed it. A woman, in the middle of a crowd, lying down at the feet of a holy image, in an act of desperation and total surrender. Why did she do this? What was the secret she carried that found its deepest revelation there? This story goes far beyond what we can imagine, and the mystery behind this simple but powerful gesture is what we are going to unravel now. It is a story of faith, pain, hope, and transformation that makes us reflect on our own lives. Stay with me until the end, because every detail is crucial to understanding the impact of this moment. And before I begin to unravel this incredible story, I want to ask you, write in the comments right now the names of people and relatives who need prayer, who need a miracle or peace. Let's add all these names to our main prayer with the Rosary, asking the Virgin Mary to intercede for each one of them, just as she did in the life of the woman we are going to talk about. For those who don't know, Medjugorje is a small village in Bosnia and Herzegovina that has become one of the largest Marian pilgrimage centers in the world. Since 1981, 6 young visionaries have reported seeing the Virgin Mary, the Gospa, as she is affectionately called by the locals. Millions of people from all over the world have visited Medjugorje in search of healing, peace, conversion, or simply a renewal of faith. There, it is common to see people praying, fasting, climbing sacred mountains barefoot, in acts of penance and devotion. The atmosphere is one of deep spirituality, of contemplative silence mixed with the murmur of prayers in several languages. It is not a place of great spectacles, but of a simplicity that touches the soul, where the focus is on the Gospa's message of prayer, fasting, penance, faith, conversion, and peace. It is in this setting of palpable faith, where the extraordinary seems to become everyday life, that the story we are going to tell today unfolded, and that the secret of a woman who seemed invisible in the crowd came to light in a way that no one expected. Among the countless people seeking something in Medjugorje was Anna, a middle-aged woman with eyes filled with a deep sadness that not even the sun of that place could alleviate. Anna was not a person of fervent faith, to be honest. She was skeptical, rational, accustomed to solving her problems with her own strength and intelligence. Her coming to Medjugorje was not out of devotion, but out of pure desperation. Her youngest daughter, Clara, only 7 years old, was facing a rare and aggressive disease that doctors were unable to diagnose or treat effectively. Months of hospitalizations, painful tests, and sleepless nights had exhausted all her energy and hope. The specialists no longer had any answers, and Clara's life was slipping away a little more each day. It was a longtime friend, a woman of unshakable faith, who convinced her to make the trip, almost dragging her along, saying, "Anna, you've tried everything. What do you have to lose? Faith is the last hope when all else fails." Anna, exhausted and without resources, accepted, but her heart was filled with resentment and doubt, not hope. The journey to Medjugorje was long and silent for Anna. Every kilometer she traveled was accompanied by a fierce internal struggle. On one side, the logical mind that questioned the idea of miracles and divine interventions, seeing them as an escape from reality. On the other, a thin thread of hope, so thin it could barely be felt, that urged her on. When she arrived, what Anna found was a shock. She had expected a kind of religious theme park, something commercial and noisy. Instead, she found a touching simplicity. Dirt roads, humble houses, an almost sacred silence that was broken only by the sound of prayers and chants. The people she saw seemed different, with a peace she could not understand, a serenity that made her question her own inner turmoil. She felt out of place, like a stranger in a place where everyone seemed to know each other in faith. Even so, Clara's anguish was so great that she allowed herself to be guided by her friend, observing everything with a suspicious gaze, but also with an involuntary curiosity that began to blossom in her heart. It was in front of the imposing statue of the Virgin Mary, the Queen of Peace, located near the Church of St. James, that the decisive moment occurred. The statue, made of white marble, seemed to radiate a serenity that Anna had never seen in anything else. Crowds gathered there, many in silence, others whispering prayers, some with tears in their eyes. Anna, who had always kept her distance, felt a calling, an almost physical attraction to get closer. As she walked slowly, the pain in her chest became unbearable. The image of Clara, fragile and suffering, filled her mind. Suddenly, without any rational warning, without thinking about the people around her, without worrying about what they would say or think, Anna felt an irresistible force pulling her down. Her legs gave out, and she, without realizing it, began to kneel, and then, in a gesture of total surrender, unprecedented in her life, she lay down at the feet of the marble image. Her face touched the cold base of the statue, and she curled up there, as if she were trying to hide from the world, but at the same time seeking refuge. It was not just a physical act. It was her soul pouring out, her body surrendering, her reason falling silent in the face of a pain that surpassed any understanding. That unexpected act of lying down at the feet of the saint shocked everyone who witnessed it. It was not an act of performance, but of extreme vulnerability. The secret that carried, the unspeakable pain of seeing her daughter waste away, the helplessness that corroded her inside, all of this was revealed in that gesture. But what happened next was the real secret, what truly shocked her. The moment her body touched the cold marble, and she completely abandoned herself, something changed inside her. There was no lightning, no audible heavenly voice. What came was a profound peace, a sense of relief so overwhelming that she had never experienced it before. It was as if the weight of the world, the anguish, the guilt, the despair that had been suffocating her for months, were suddenly lifted from her shoulders. She cried, not from sadness, but from an inexplicable liberation. In that moment, Anna did not ask for a miracle for Clara. She simply surrendered herself. She understood that control was not in her hands, and that there was a greater power to whom she could finally hand over her daughter and herself. It was a total surrender, an act of trust that sprang from the deepest despair. And it was in that very moment of surrender that what had seemed impossible began to move in Clara's life. The secret that shocked Medjugorje was not a supernatural revelation of a hidden message, but rather the visible manifestation of faith in its purest form. Total abandonment into the hands of God, through the intercession of the Virgin Mary. As Anna lay there, prostrate, her cell phone vibrated. It was a message from the hospital. The nurse informed her that Clara had inexplicably shown a sudden improvement. Her fever had gone down, her vital signs had stabilized, and for the first time in a long time, she was sleeping soundly. Anna could not believe it. She knew it was no coincidence. From that day on, Clara's recovery was progressive and impressive, defying all medical expectations. But the greatest miracle was not only Clara's physical healing, it was Anna's spiritual transformation. She returned from Medjugorje a different person. Her skeptical attitude gave way to a solid faith, her deep sadness to a peace that never left her. She began to see the world with different eyes, to value love, hope, and the importance of constant prayer. The act of lying down at the feet of the saint was the turning point, the moment when she stopped struggling alone and allowed divine grace to act in her life and in the life of her daughter. The story of Anna and the secret she revealed in Medjugorje is not an isolated case. Thousands of similar testimonies echo in the hearts of pilgrims who visit this blessed place. The central message is that, often, the greatest solutions to our problems lie not in our ability to control them, but in our ability to surrender, to abandon ourselves to the divine will. Just as Anna lay down at the feet of the Virgin, we too are invited, in our daily lives, to lay down our pains, our fears, our uncertainties and our needs at the feet of Jesus and Mary, through daily prayer. We do not need to go to Medjugorje to find this peace. It is available in every moment when we prostrate ourselves in humility, whether in our room, in a church, or anywhere our heart turns to God. We need to forgive more, to have peace in our hearts, ask for more conversions, and cultivate unshakable faith, especially in times of trial. May Anna's story inspire each of us to have more faith and to seek this surrender. And if you know someone who needs prayer, who is going through a trial, a relative, a friend, write their name in the comments right now. Let's join them in our next prayer of the Rosary, asking the Virgin Mary to intercede for each one, just as she interceded for Anna and Clara. What did you think of this story that revealed the secret of Medjugorje through Anna's life? Leave your comment on the topic, share your reflections and your own experiences of faith and overcoming. Your opinion is very important to us. If you liked this video and were touched by its message, don't forget to leave your like to help us reach more people. And if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our next videos. May God bless you all and may the peace of Our Lady always be with you. Until next time.